And like I said, I take everything the media says with a grain of salt.
For obvious reasons, I'm gonna ask you: are you the killer?
No. I went to bed and I was, it takes me about an hour to fall asleep, and I, thinking back, I thought I heard a little scream from that vicinity, but it wasn't No. I think it was from the back for sure. I think they went in through the sliding door. I'm almost I don't want to say I'm certain, but that just makes the most sense for me. You know what I mean? Because that's the most accessible. Shut the door back to halfway. Oops, went to the next house. Oh, cool. This is right.
Hello, Grizzlies, and welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Grizzly, and today we continue to look at the Idaho case. There's just a couple of updates, and then, of course, we're just going to look at little clips from the neighbor, Inan Harsh's interviews, which, oh man, he's another neighbor being attacked now relentlessly online, being called the killer. This is the guy who did it. So I thought we could just look at it together and address it. Yes. And also I'm going to be reading his entire Reddit post that he made as well. So welcome. Please make sure that you like the video and share it as well so that other Grizzlies know that I'm live right now. It's 4:00 in the afternoon for me, which is a little bit earlier than usual, but I'm so grateful to have you all here, depending on, I don't know, if it's morning for you, is it evening? Wherever you are, thank you for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. Welcome to all the mods, welcome to all my patrons, and welcome to all the members as well. Okay, exactly. Not for sure the Tokyo Grizzly Cub. Can't be him. His name doesn't start with J. I know, right? Okay, so one interesting development is, and this may have absolutely nothing to do with this case. I just quickly want to find it. Put so many tabs open again. Today, some of the Grizzlies are just monitoring this, police scanners from Whitman County, Washington. They say here there was a 7-hour standoff, which is now under control. Campus lockdown. This is from Washington State University. It says here, officers report contact made with suspect. The suspect is down, now working to remove officer and then SWAT on scene. So I don't know what that's about, but I know people all over, of course. I mean, right. It's very close. It's Pullman, Washington, They are monitoring everything, so it's interesting. We'll keep an eye on that as well. Yes, some of you are like, what? Good morning to all of you who are up early. I hope you've got some nice coffee as well. And now, let me first start with, there's no updates from the Moscow PD. I just wanted to quickly have one look. Sorry I'm just getting everything ready here. Hold on 1 second. I just want to double check that there's no new update from Moscow PD, so I can't start with that today. There is this, I'm sure you've all seen the white Hyundai Elantra story, right? That there was a potential white car seen on footage at a nearby gas station, which I believe is this Exxon gas station here. This Exxon gas station. And what I did here was just go from there to the house. And that is why people find it interesting, because it was at 3:45 a.m. and the car was traveling westward like this. So that I've also been monitoring as well. But I must say, I'm not sure, man. Do you guys think it is a white Hyundai Elantra? There's someone who was saying, I just want to quickly get the screenshot. Someone was actually saying earlier that it doesn't appear to be the right model of car or the right year. So I wonder. I'm just watching that just to see. I mean, it's great that they found footage and that the police are also looking on it. They've gotten footage from all these gas stations. So let's just keep an eye on that as well. I just hope the cops are getting lots of credible leads and tips and things that could really help them out as well in solving this case. The white Hyundai Elantra that they're looking for. Driving here, turning off here. And the reason they say it could be suspicious is because if they're traveling west and turning off this way, of course, the house is right here. So if we just go to this article here, they say, Idaho cops get gas station footage of white car seen speeding near slain students' home. So in case you haven't seen this, they say Idaho authorities retrieved hours of footage from a Moscow gas station Tuesday that reportedly captured a white sedan speeding by the night that 4 college students were killed at their nearby home, according to a report. The surveillance footage could potentially be of importance, as just last week, Moscow police announced that they were looking for the occupants of a white Hyundai who may have critical information in last month's murders of 4 University of Idaho students. An overnight assistant manager at the gas station told Fox News that she's been analyzing the tapes during her downtime and claims she saw a white sedan whiz by around 3:45 a.m. on November 13th. Thank you so much, Catatonic. I really appreciate that. And they say, I hope no one harasses her at work now. That's what I'm concerned about. They're like, she works exactly there. She found the videos. I don't know. I worry, that people are going to harass her now. I hope they don't. The employee who requested her name be withheld for her safety while the killer or killers remain on the loose said on Monday night that she spotted the car and emailed a screenshot to a police tip address. I had a weird feeling to go get on the cameras, the clerk who was not working the night of the murders told Fox. Sorry, I'm just quickly trying to see something. Okay. She said the car was driving fast down Highway 8 before turning onto a side street. Moscow police said the white Hyundai they are seeking, believed to be a 2011 to 2013 Elantra, was seen near the home of the slain students before Kaylee Goncalves, Maddie Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Kernodle's boyfriend Ethan Chapin were found stabbed to death in their off-campus house. Police said they do not know the vehicle's license plate, and it's unclear if they believe anyone inside the car was either involved with the murders or witnessed anything that could assist the investigation. Law enforcement officials who identified themselves as state detectives arrived at the gas station, and they collected 8 hours of footage around 11 a.m. Tuesday. Of course, they've got to vet all these tips as well. Yeah. Serious Stem Cell says, I think it could be a Nissan Altima. I must say, you guys, I have so many freaking screenshots that I'm struggling to find the one that I want to tell you about. But someone had sent me something saying that it is something like that, like a Nissan Altima, or it's not quite the right make or model. So I'm still sifting through my emails. I'm getting hundreds a day. It's kind of difficult to keep up with, but I really appreciate all the information as well. Okay. Either way, I'm glad they're checking it out as well. 8 hours of footage to look through. I hope it helps them out. Law enforcement officials who identified themselves as state detectives, arrived at the gas station and collected 8 hours worth of footage, 11 a.m. on Tuesday. So this is a new development. When asked if they'd found anything significant, one detective said, not yet. And they say authorities returned to the police station after retrieving the tapes, Fox reported. They have not commented on their findings. Frustration has mounted with law enforcement as they have yet to name a suspect a month after the killings, which again, I say that frustration is unwarranted. It's not a cold case. There's many tips rolling in. It's not CSI. I mean, it's 1 month. It's been 1 month. Just give them time to do their investigation. Moscow Police Captain Roger Lanier said Tuesday that the investigation is not cold. We get tips every day that are viable, Lanier said. We get dozens and dozens of tips. We sort through and prioritize them. And for sure, some of them are not good tips. They're not even relevant to the case, he continued. Oh, my word. Thank you, Amanda. And then they say the tips, he said, help us do everything from clear people who maybe there was some speculation about to further some of the theories that we're working on. What's next is to just continue on what we're doing, eliminate the information that we know is not going to be relevant to the investigation, and take all the new information and eventually, and we see this coming eventually, we're going to narrow in on exactly what happened and who did it. Okay, so let me just see. Oh, damn. My bad. I might have to actually slow this down. There you go. Thank you. Okay, screenshot that I had from earlier said the vehicle description doesn't fit the image, which rules out model years that it likely is. There was a model change, and this I've had a lot of emails about from car experts, a model change in 2013. It's not the same as 2012. The version is likely 2019. 2012 body generation 5, 2013 generation 6. So that is the summary of everything that's been emailing people who know cars, and that's not me. They know all the differences. Every different, they look at this, look at that, look at the back, look at the lights. They say it's not quite the right model that they're looking for, but we'll see. Yes. also approaching 2K, you guys say. So I have got to just slow it down slightly. I'm so sorry about that. I'm just going to put subscribers only mode on. You only have to subscribe for 1 minute, and then you could chat with us again. Okay, if you're not subscribed yet. I hope you are subscribed. Yes, Chirping Bird. I saw that law enforcement also took footage from a liquor store on the other side of town. Yes, I think they're getting footage from literally everywhere. Now, put a 1 in the chat if you have seen anything about the neighbor, Inan Harsh, and put a 2 in the chat if you know nothing about this. I just want to see, by show of hands, do you know anything about this neighbor? Have you seen the footage? Have you seen the interviews or anything like that? Just so that I know. I just want to gauge. Don't worry. I will still... Sorry, I'm laughing at Di saying single-handed wrench. I'm still going to go over things. I just want to know how much exactly to explain right now. So, okay. All right, pretty mixed reviews. So, what happened was, okay, we got to back up this story. So, it goes like this. One of the neighbors, who I believe lives in the same building as Jeremy, another one of the neighbors, okay? He typed on November 15th at 8:16 p.m. Well, that probably is my time. On November 15th, right? 4 killed in stabbing across the street. Now, it's been updated. See, now it says no evidence, no trace, so like professional killers. But why? On 3 sorority girls, shit doesn't make sense. Now, if I go to view the edit history, you could see that on November 15th, he said 4 killed in stabbing across the street, no screams, no evidence, no trace. So like professional killers. But why on 3 sorority girls? Shit doesn't make sense. And then he edited to say 4 killed in stabbing across the street, no evidence, no trace. So you see, he took out the no screams part. Now that's got the internet in a frenzy because this is the person who came forward and then said that, you kind of remembers hearing something. And that was like a month later, of course, saying, you know what? There might have been a scream. I just took it as a potty noise, but there might have been something. Now, please remember what made matters so much worse, what made him really look like a red flag is not just, come forward and say, I think I might have heard a scream. I mean, which any information would be helpful right now, right? If you do remember something a month later, say it. We don't want to discourage people from coming forward. But there was a YouTuber who took that little bit of information and then created entirely fake audio to support Inan's claims, okay? That is what really made it like, oh my word, like the huffing and the puffing and the no, leave me alone and the whole dramatics of it. That YouTuber's channel is now taken down. His Twitter's down. I think YouTube does that if there's mass reporting or something. I don't know what's happening. If he's being investigated, because I think it could face charges, I don't know, for faking evidence in a true crime case. Damn. But that really made things go pretty viral on Inan's claims. And that really put him, like, catapulted him into the spotlight. So now people are looking at him like with he's under a microscope, a little bit from South Carolina, I assume. Thank you so much for that. Grumpy said that no shortage of creepy neighbors. Well, the thing is, that's the point in a true crime case when everyone's on high alert, everyone's vigilant, whoever's coming forward, it's like, oh my word, red flag, right? I mean, there was Jeremy, the neighbor, Joe V, the food truck tan hat guy. He came forward. And then Jake Schrieger, Maddie's boyfriend, spoke at the celebration of life, red flag. Okay, so we've had all of those. Never mind the ex-boyfriend and frat boys. And now it's also this one. This neighbor is like, what about the neighbors who don't come forward though, right? CCK says, I heard he just hit his channel. Well, maybe. But sometimes, as we've seen in the past, channels get taken down. It sounds nice to say, I just hit it, because it sounds like you're in control. But sometimes YouTube hides it for you if you've been a little bit naughty. Yes. No, Angela, we don't want to grill him. But I have invited him to be on here. So, Inan, if you're watching, you are most welcome to come and chat with us here on Grizzly True Crime. You'll be in good hands. Pernil, he should be charged. Absolutely disgusting. All right. Thank you so much for that as well. Okay. So I'm going to show you a couple of clips, and then what I'm going to do is he's posted his entire just about life story here on Reddit. Okay, he's been very active on Reddit, which is also why, same as Jeremy. Jeremy was also very active on Reddit, and then he deleted his Reddit profile because he just had enough of all that crap. But Inan as well, been very much, defending himself on Reddit, and the more he does that, the more people just go for him. And so he shared a long story here, which I am going to read to you so that, look, it's very long. We're going to have reading time today. Okay. He explained everything. So we're going to go through that. But what I want to show you is this one. This channel here is called Unresolved Crimes. Let's talk with Inan Harsh. So I'm going to show you a couple of clips from there as an example, but go to the channel Unresolved Crimes. I will pin it with timestamps and everything in the comments, so you can go there and check out and support these content creators for having him on and, asking some good questions there. And then there's also, yes, I put this, I think both of them are in my description box now. Yes, we've got Hidden True Crime as well, live Q&A with Inan Harsh. So Hidden True Crime was also on the Law and Crime Network yesterday, like kind of debriefing about this with a former police officer and all that. So go and check these out if you want to see the full interviews. But what I did was, so you guys are like, he wrote a novel. Yeah. He wrote a novel. Yeah, we're going to read through it. Okay, so we have the whole picture right here. Because I don't know. Maybe people are going to read through it still. I haven't seen anyone like read through his whole story. And at this point, with the whole internet calling him a killer, I think it's only fair to hear what he's written, and yeah, just to read what he's written and hear his side of the story. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is put this on here. So I'm just showing you clips, first a few clips from the Unresolved Crimes podcast, and then the Hidden True Crime one. Thank you, Nicole. Yes, Gina, I saw Mel was on News Nation last night. He was talking about that time pressure, that the mainstream media puts you under, which is also what Ken Maines from Unsolved No More said. It's like, once you get on there, it's like, okay, you got a minute. Say everything you need to say in 1 minute. Oh, my word. So, yes, I did see that, though. That was great. Okay, so here we go. Do I need to slow down? Are we good? Okay, wait. 1 second. Sunset Gazing said, onliners are doing to Inan what they did to Jeremy. Jeremy warned another local would be accused as he toned down his own interviews, and Inan is too zen to be a murderer. Yeah, but that's just an opinion. And I agree with your opinion. He's like Bob Marley, hermit crab. And I don't know, people are looking at him like, oh my word, like the way he laughs, the way he says like. I mean, damn, people, damn, he being scrutinized. I mean, it was Joe, the food truck guy. Remember him? Tan head guy. Then Jeremy, then Inan. So it can't be all of them. You know what I mean? Like the internet is like killer. I don't know. Well, I guess it can be all of them. Imagine that. Some people go there. They email me. It's all three of them working together. But just like chill. We got to look at things and have an open mind, but also not accuse people of murder. My word. Okay. So here we go. Let's listen to some of these clips.
And like I said, I take everything the media says with a grain of salt.
For obvious reasons, I'm gonna ask you: are you the killer?
No. I went to bed and like I was, it takes me about an hour to fall asleep, and I, like thinking back, I thought like, I heard like a little scream from like that vicinity, but it wasn't like, I don't know, it didn't seem super unordinary to me, but I was also just like half asleep. And the only other thing I remember that night was, there was like one neighbor that returned home while I was sleeping and closed their door. So I heard like two door shuts, the car door and the apartment door. Another thing I just kind of dismissed, and I still don't think that's important.
I'm going to pause it there. I wrote some notes from all the interviews as well. And I just wanted to mention, remember when we looked at Jeremy? I think this was actually on a members only stream, and I was saying, I think he's a true crimer. And I think every single one of us, if there's a murder in our town right next to us or something, and we go in front of the cameras, they're going to be like, red flag. Because sometimes true crimers, especially if you know stuff about, I don't know, just investigations in general, you might come across really weird. And in general, I think we might all be weird, not? Not? Don't your family think you're weird? Come on, spill it. Because you're into true crime. They're like, oh my word, you're literally watching murder shows all day. Like, what is wrong with you? We're all weird, okay? Now, what I want to say is Jeremy is a true crimer. He said one of his third choices is to study criminal law. And yes, I was speaking about the previous neighbor that came forward, Jeremy. And he loves watching true crime shows. And guess what? So is this guy. He followed the Gabby Petito case. He loves unsolved mysteries. Friggin' loves true crime. So maybe he just wants to add his 2 cents in. What do you think? Yes, the Glera. Oh, the Glera. We need your roasting. Are you going to do one later? I love if you guys like my second channel, you're going to love the Glera. That roasting is like, it cracks me up. How does hearing a scream imply that someone is suspect of murder? Because, okay, the Glera, let me just tell you now. Let me just tell you. I'm going to break it down for you. Okay, guys, take this with a pinch of salt. This case is not a joke. I'm saying some of the theories are sometimes like, oh my word. Now you see this. This is Inan Harsh's page, okay? You see that. He posted a picture of his torso. And you know what else he did? He posted freaking chicken with a knife. And he's a chef. And he knows how to use knives, okay? And I mean, he also speaks a little weird. And he may have heard a noise. So therefore, equals, you know? According to the internet. That's it. He did it like, oh my word. Devil's advocate. Please define weird. All right, all of us. Okay, so yes, he loves true crime. This guy that we're looking at here, right here, loves true crime just like all of us. He's kind of one of us, you guys. That's kind of how I see it. And yes, he followed the Gabby Petito case and watches unsolved mysteries. He was born in France. He moved to the USA by age 1, and then he was homeschooled. He graduated from Pullman High. He moved to Moscow a few years ago, he says. He juggles. He works late. He heard a little scream, he said. He would sometimes spin fire in the parking lot. So people also like, oh my word, spinning fire. But like, okay, there we go. He's spinning fire in the parking lot. Hey, is Drip Drop here? What? I'm going to get so excited. Welcome to all the content creators. If Drip Drop, if you're in here, Crime Circus, welcome. I was just at Crime Circus's premiere before this, so go check that out. If you haven't yet, you guys, it's all about Jack D, which is Jack number 1, according to my little presentations. And he's got even more receipts to show where he lived, because people tried to debunk that last time. Lady M, hello, beautiful. Yes, we are all weird. We are all so freaking weird. Thank you so much, Lady M. Yes, okay. So let's listen. Oh, sorry, I've still got here. Spinning fire in the parking lot sometimes. So that must have been interesting. No one's reported on that. He said he was taking out the trash and was approached. So guess what? So was Jeremy. He was taking out the trash and then the media approached him. Same here. And as we saw from the call logs, the Moscow police civic alerts or whatever the call logs, even they named the Daily Mail as harassing people. So there are people out there, there's media out there harassing people, literally waiting for them to take out their trash. And you know what? I hate taking trash out so much already. I can't imagine taking trash out and then having to see human beings, but especially ones with cameras and mics in your face. I'm going to be so weird in that. I'll probably come across pretty angry. They're like, this one, there's something underlying here. She's angry. Yeah, I am. I don't like taking out the trash and don't put a camera in my face or a microphone. You know what I mean? So he's one of us, I think. Anyway, okay. I just want to see. Yeah, he's been cooking for about 6 years. He's a chef. So let's listen to more clips.
Contacted by Moscow PD.
Yeah, they came the very first night of the murder. They came and knocked to my door. They asked everyone questions. I don't think they ever released that information because they didn't, for obvious reasons. They're trying to keep their investigation private and stuff. But yeah, they came in, talked to everybody. And I talked to them once after that, and yeah, that's it. I don't know. It's a weird ass case.
Before I tried to.
I'm going to say again, he laughs, okay? He laughs passionately, possibly, as some say, inappropriately. You know who else does that? Me. You know who else does that? All of us. They're like, why is she laughing while talking about true crime? Why? Because of anxiety sometimes. Sometimes anxiety is so freaking high. You know what I feel like? Sometimes the I don't know. sometimes some generations are just like not, I don't know, so aware of the mental health factor that a lot of us are now these days aware of. And I'm just like, anxiety, mental health in general, you know, things are not always as they seem. And this laughing he does, and the incredible eye contact and everything. I mean, I know to some people, it might look really weird. And at first glance, I've watched these interviews 4 times already. I was like, okay, that's a little weird, but let me take some notes. Let me just think about this. And I'm like, okay, let's analyze his page. Let's see where he lives, what he's saying. Does it make sense? Does it add up? And the point is, anxiety can also make you giggle a little bit like that and just be like, oh my word, because it's just so overwhelming. I don't know. I just find, again, most of us are like that, huh?
Try to stick to the facts, obviously, but what
Yeah.
do you mean? What do you think what happened though?
I really don't know. Like, I think I'm thinking of a few possibilities. Maybe like some dude went in to like rape the girl, and they weren't like expecting to find her boyfriend there, so he just like went crazy and killed a bunch of people. I'm also thinking maybe just like a serial killer who gets off on killing girls. Maybe like some dude who's like really professional, is really good at it, and goes around just doing it. I'm also, I mean, I don't want to, cause any more suspects, but I was looking at that incident from the grub truck. I wonder if there was like,
I mean, he's saying everything we're saying. He's talking like a true crimer. Everything we've said, except now he's saying like, but he doesn't have a YouTube channel saying, maybe he will have one saying like. I don't know. The point is, well, I guess us YouTubers are like, please like, share, like. I mean, he's also saying like, he's a true crimer. I'm telling you, this guy's a grizzly and he doesn't even know it yet. Point is, he's saying everything that's already been speculated. Like the food truck incident was pretty sus. That was pretty sus. I agree. It looked pretty sus to me as well. So sorry, I'm distracted by this now. I don't know why I pay for streaming services like Netflix and Discovery Plus when I basically live on Grizzly True Crime YouTube channel. Thank you, Crystal. So I mean, everything that he's saying here makes sense. Even when we had John Kelly, a criminal profiler, on here, yeah, we speculated some of those things. The food truck, interesting. The fixated gaze of the hoodie guy, interesting. All kinds of stuff, right?
a friend of someone who's got beef with them. Say what?
Believe me, he's not it. He's not it.
Okay, word. Thanks. That's reassuring, actually. But yeah, no, I don't. It's so bizarre to me because like when I think about a motive behind it, my mind it draws so many blanks. You know what I mean? So it's hard to think outside of like psychopath or because like I don't know, just the thought of like a high schooler that had some beef with her, or like someone that had beef from college with her or something, like it just doesn't make sense to me, so I'm really leaning on some like professional killer or no, I think it was from the back for sure. I think they went in through the sliding door.
Sorry for that. The music's a little bit louder than I intended it to be. I just wanted to put some background music on. Sorry about that. I don't mean to make it sound eerie or something. I just wanted some ambient music in the background, and I messed up by making it a little too loud. The Glare says it takes some of the edge off too. Just because you're able to find humor in bad situation doesn't mean that you're insensitive to the victim. I know, right? Thank you, The Glare. I mean, yeah, if you guys like to laugh and take the edge off it, go watch The Glarer. I mean, that's where I sometimes in the morning I drink coffee and I watch The Glarer, and I'm like, this is hilarious because it just helps. That is why sometimes the contrast. I mean, true crime is difficult to cover every single day. I mean, all the time, the hours and hours of research, spending your time in the genre. I mean, it's I choose to. I'm a true crime YouTuber now. And so the thing is, yeah, here and there, yeah, people comment, why is she giggling? Why this? I do it too because of anxiety. And sometimes, yes, it just takes the edge off. Exactly. So this guy's already been accused of murder. I mean, people are already saying, he's the killer, he's the killer. Why wouldn't he be giggling here and there or thinking that is absurd to think that not only did someone fake the audio, like literally a YouTuber took an article and thought, you know what, I'm going to find some old audio and then I'm going to bring this guy's story to life. I mean, that was terrible. So I don't know. I feel a little protective. Okay. And you guys know, I see red flags when there's red flags, but you know what else I see? Protection, because we're all a red flag a little bit. You know, as in true crime. Here we are watching murder cases all day. You know what I mean? So I just feel a little protective of Inan over here because I'm like, oh man, the internet's going so hard for this guy. And he's been through a lot. If we're going to read his story, right? He's been through a lot in life, overcome a lot. He's got everything going for him. He's got a stable job. He's a chef. He does what he loves. He juggles. And yes, he throws fire around, which is part of the whole juggling thing. But people are like, oh my word. He juggles. He's throwing fire around, you know, which is still the juggling thing, fire sticks or whatever. And then he's like a gamer. Okay. He's like smoking MJ and he laughs. And I'm like, that's literally all of us, you guys. Come on. Steffi said, usually someone who's guilty wouldn't talk about it so directly. They try to use distancing language usually. Yes, thank you. I mean, of course, everything is possible. I'm not ruling anything in or out. I'm just saying, whoa. We got to just chill. Pull the reins. You know? Thank you, Cheryl. Okay.
I'm almost like, I don't want to say I'm certain, but you know, that just makes the most sense for me. You know what I mean? Because that's the most accessible. It was surprisingly, I was driving. It was surprisingly empty. You know, sometimes we have like cops will like post like speed traps on that road. I think it's Blake Road because you know there'll be like drunk college kids they're trying to catch, but they weren't there. So and there weren't a lot of cars in the parking lot. Usually at that time there's a lot of cars because there's like parties around the area. But it was for Saturday. It was surprisingly empty. You know what I mean? No, I was at work from 1 p.m. to like about 12 a.m. and then I stayed a little bit after just bullshitting with some coworkers. So yeah, I was at work all day and then I went home and it was already pretty quiet by the time I was there. So I went to work. I got off around, I think it was around 12 that night. It was kind of like a late close and I like bullshitted with like a coworker for a little while after work and then I went home, you know, it was around, I don't know, like 1:30, 2-ish a.m. Was maybe when I got home, maybe, and, you know, I'm always like kind of hoping that I have like a parking spot right in front of my, my door when I get there. Cause like lots of times on campus, you know, there's like parties and like.
I'm going to pause it for a second. Allison, can you please send me an email with a link to this? I would love to see that as well, and show it if I can. grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com. If anyone's got the link to this right now, that would be great. All right.
Pretty full. And so like this time I noticed that like, I don't know, it wasn't really any cars as usual. I was like, cool, I'm going to get a nice spot right in front. And there was, you know, like, I saw like this, sort of like, kind of like, decked out, like, luxury, like, I thought it was black SUV, maybe like a Beamer or something. And it had like rims, tinted windows, and I was like, oh, that's like a pretty cool car.
So that's interesting. I think if the car was there and he's saying there's a black luxury SUV there around the time when he's getting home that he doesn't normally see in the neighborhood, I think that's pretty interesting. I think he's pretty observant and hopefully the police have heard about that as well. Otherwise, we'll have to submit that in, right? We don't want to flood them, but I hope I'm sure he's spoken to the police as well. Lead with Love says some people just put their foot in their mouth constantly. And yes, especially for example, I'm not saying Inan is, but if they're on the spectrum, you know, on the autism spectrum or anything like that, they might be misunderstood. They might say things that people are like, what the hell? I know some people in my personal life who are on the spectrum. And yeah, a lot of times it's like, oh my word. People accusing them of being guilty of the weirdest things all the time, just because they're completely misunderstood. Anyway.
And then like, you know, coming out, like I noticed some like plates from like Arizona, I want to say, or Montana. There's kind of like, you know, it's like I'm always like kind of curious what kind of like, you know, different plates are like around and stuff. Because usually you just see like Idaho, especially in like my parking lot. And so like I came in and you know, it was like surprisingly like pretty empty that night. Like none of the houses and like that on those like two streets were having parties, which was like kind of unusual. And then I went home, was like making some tea, just like doing some contact staff drills and like you know, stretching. I think I played a game of League, and then I went to bed. And then as I was falling asleep, it usually takes me like 30 minutes to an hour to fall asleep. Like I don't know, I guess, you know, I dismissed like initially like you know, like one of my neighbors returning. Hello.
I'm just going to pause. A I can't see the comment now. Yeah, Leah says, I think he wants his 15 minutes of fame because he makes crap up. I don't actually think he wants his 15 minutes of fame. I think he's a complete hermit crab, as you said. Like, he's a hermit, right? I say hermit crab. He's a hermit. He's an introvert. He likes to be by himself. But then while taking out the trash, the media spoke to him, wrote an article. Of course, that's what they do. Grab something and run with it to make headlines. And just like, oh, my word, a neighbor heard a scream. And then a YouTuber took that information and made something out of it. Like, oh, my word, here's the audio to back up that claim. And then it went wild. Now he's like, oh, crap. Oh, my word. So then he sees the Reddit stuff unfold and everybody like, who is this guy? And digging into everything he's saying. So then he edits his post and then he looks even more guilty to everyone. It's like, shame. Oh, my word. I don't think he wanted to actually be in any of this, really, right? Thank you so much, Caroline.
After me, so I heard like, you know, a car shut, a door shut, and then like, you know, apartment door shut, and like also like a scream. But like, you know, that's like normal. Like I always hear like screaming almost every Saturday night. So like I didn't really like think of it. And so, but like yeah, just looking back, I was like, I wonder if like, you know, that wasn't just like some drunk dude like screaming, like it's actually like the murder.
Can you take us to?
Yeah, because I think the person I think I remember most is Kaylee, and like when I introduced myself, I think she was like the first one I shook hands with, and yeah, I just had like this. It was a pretty nice bottle of wine. I don't remember what kind it was, but it was pretty expensive, and you know, I was cooking with it, and I wasn't gonna finish it, and I was like taking my trash out, so I don't remember where I was outside, and then they were just like, you know, like chit chatting, drinking a little bit, playing some cool music, and so I went down, and they were like drinking some beer, and I was just like. Asked her if she wanted this bottle of wine. I wasn't gonna finish this, and they were like, "Yeah, fuck yeah."
Bex is asking the whole time, did he give his DNA? He's spoken to the police twice already, so I'm assuming if they want his DNA, he would have given it, right?
And then I was like, yeah, and then I was just introduced like the neighbor, like lived upstairs, and yeah, that was pretty much it. Yeah, they were super nice and smiley, and yeah, it's pretty much.
Yeah.
Mrs. Papa says, Grizzly, do you think the white car in question is the same type car as the one on Google Map? You know, I put that on Twitter. So if you guys follow me on Twitter, you'll see me ask questions exactly like that. Because I drove around that whole area and I'm like, what about this car? And then all the car experts come out and like, no, man, because of this and this and this and this is not. So no, now based on everything that was told to me, no, I don't think it is.
I remember.
Do you ever stay up late doing your craft, working on things? Do you ever hear what's going on around the neighborhood ever?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. No, I guess not. I mean, I usually listen to something, so I mean, I'm usually like zoned in on whatever I'm doing. But I guess, you know, it's kind of like on like the parties night, you know, like the like, I don't know, the parties are kind of just like noise to me, you know. So like I hear that, and like every once in a while, like I'll hear, you know, like somebody return home really late in the night. But I mean, it's like semi-normal, like 3, 4 a.m. Like that's not that late. People go over to people's houses and they hang out for a long time, and then they come home on the weekends. Like that's just like college life, I feel like. And like sometimes I'll just like listen to some music in my bedroom to like kind of like tune out like anybody who's like super late or loud. And then sometimes like you'll hear just like people walking down, like, I don't know, sometimes yelling, but not like, it doesn't happen like, I don't know, it's not super loud, but it's like, you know, it's campus, it's noisy, but I mean, it's like you can hear what's going on, I guess, sort of like.
Millennials love the word like. It's quite normal. Exactly. Yes, they do indeed. And wait, someone, oh yeah. For people saying, why is this guy up all night? Why is he not sleeping? Hello again. I'm the same kind of weird as this guy, I feel, you know, because I giggle, and when my anxiety is freaking through the roof, then I giggle. Even if I'm talking about grim topics for a second, then I'll giggle, or I see something funny that you guys say. Actually, I think half of you here, most of you actually, you are hilarious. You have such a funny sense of humor, and we try to put that on the other channel on GNT, so go check that out over there. But why is he up all night? Because he works really late. He worked that day until like midnight-ish, you know, and even if he gets home every day, sometime between midnight and 2, I mean, do you know how hard it is after that stress, like being in the kitchen? I mean, just picture Gordon Ramsay kitchen nightmares. The adrenaline, the stress, the rush, the pressure, the everything being in the kitchen like that, and then you get home. For me, I do a live stream, and I can't sleep for like 3 or 4 hours. So I'm up until 3 or 4 in the morning watching the Glera, you know, Crime Circus. Hello. So seeing what's happening on YouTube. It's very hard. And Mr. Grizzly has just started a channel too, Sakura Aviation, right? And he used to think I'm a bit weird for staying up all night. He's like, why do you stay up all night and like look at murder shows? Well, it's really hard to come down adrenaline wise and energy after a live stream. And I'm talking live stream because this guy is a cook, right? He's a chef. So I just feel it could be the same adrenaline type of lifestyle. And so Mr. Grizzly as well. Guess what? When he goes live now, you guys, and you are there, oh, he's up at night too. He's now we both up until 2 or 3 in the morning. And I'm like, hey, what's up? Feels good, huh? Live streams do something to you. So I don't know. I can just imagine this guy with a high pressure job. I mean, some of you might judge it and be like, it's not a high pressure job. It is. Working in the kitchen, holy crap. Have you ever worked in a restaurant in your life? Oh my word, I have. Very hectic. So I don't know. Again, I feel protective. Crime Circus. Like, I'd bet my channel this guy is a liar. Like, I'd bet my channel this guy's a liar. Damn, but Crime Circus. If he's a liar, you know what we learned in other cases? If he's a liar, if he's lying, if there's small lies, sometimes liars talk too in true crime cases, right? Right? We might have seen it. I'm not going to mention other cases now. We've seen it in other cases before. And then I call those the peripheral red flags. The ones that are peripheral, interesting people. Maybe they lie, but maybe they're not killers. You know what I mean? Because people jump from red flag equal. They say red flag equal it's killer, but it's not just killer. It's just like, oh, that's a red flag. That's interesting. Why would they lie about that? I just don't think we should say it equals killer, right? Thank you for being here. Oh my word. Crime Circus in the house. We've got Jewels of all trades, true crime in the house. Chefs in big cities have a pretty long wind down time, so I can imagine he's up for a while afterwards. Exactly. We have the Glarer in the house. Thank you everyone for being here. Amy says, I bet the SUV he saw was the Range Rover. Well, he just said it's not that one. He did talk about that in the full interview. So go check out the full interviews because these are just little clips so you can get just a snippet of it. It's kind of like a teaser. I want you guys to go watch the full interview at the Content Creators. This is called Hidden True Crime. And the other one was Unresolved Crimes. Hold on. Unresolved Crimes. Yes. So go check those out.
It was close vicinity, but yeah, it's usually just noise. Like there's nothing like you want to listen to. I guess it's kind of weird. I guess like, you know, you can kind of like our walls are really thin. So like certain places you can hear like certain areas outside or inside, whatever. But I don't know. The place I think you can hear in that neighbor's house, I guess, is like in the house is like the yard. I feel like the yard is the place where you can hear the most things. Like
again, sorry, some people will be like, why do you pause all the time? When? Because it's my channel and I've got things to say in between and two because fair use. Hello. I wanted to say I'm actually going to name some cases now because it will make more sense. Like in the Kylie Rodney case, I mean, Sammy Smith was like, dude, red flag, lying so much, lying. But like, does it equal killer? Doesn't seem to be. I know there's still a whole school of thought about that. But then also, if we look at the Debbie Collier case, we're like, dude, her daughter and the boyfriend, liar, total liars, making up stuff. And it's just like, okay, see what I mean? There's the peripheral. Well, as John Kelly calls them, the usual suspects. And he says in every crime case, you're going to see them. They're going to pop up. They will. In every. So it's something, as you know, I've only been on YouTube as a true crimer for 18 months. And we learn and we grow. So I see red flags, but I'm careful with it now because some people take it as if you're waving a little red flag, they're like, that's it. You're calling them a killer. No, absolutely not. Never killer, not killer. Even Sammy Smith was a red flag to me as a liar. I didn't say she friggin' stabbed a friend in the woods or something. You know what I mean? So same here. Yeah, when I first saw the interview, I'm like, whoa, a bit of a red flag. But then when I watch it again and again, I've watched them both 4 times now. And I'm like, okay, interesting. And I just try to just think with some compassion and just think like, well, what else could it mean? Or what information can we learn from this? Or what did he share that would be interesting? You know, because damn, people get scrutinized, you know? So anyway, okay, carrying on.
So if you were going to hear something that happened at a house, it'd probably be the yard. Like I feel like the sounds inside, I'm guessing, wouldn't carry as much. Just because like again, I think that yard is sort of like almost an amphitheater set up a little bit. You know, it's like it's got the hill and it's like down a little bit, and then above it is like the parking lot and another hill. So it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like a meteor like hole in a sense. And so like I think probably like like in the middle, the sound probably resonates around.
Have you talked to
We're almost done looking at the clips. Mike, this is what I was talking about in the beginning of this episode, right? So now they say Pullman police said one man is dead after a SWAT situation. Damn, I'm going to quickly monitor that over there while we listen to this.
law enforcement since that first day they came over and asked you if you'd heard anything?
Yeah, I did once.
Once? Did they
Yeah.
come over to the neighborhood again to talk to everyone, or did you go talk to them?
No,
about
I
what
wouldn't.
you heard, or-
I just talked to them later. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of, it's almost hilarious to me that people think I did it, and they're like telling me like, "Yo, you did it," and it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like the equivalent to like flat Earth theory to me when I like read some of these like Reddit conspiracies and shit. I don't know. I've been mostly ignoring it, but sometimes I read it and it gets to me, but I don't know. It's the other time it's just like it's almost entertaining to me, but it's a little bit scary too. I'm like, what are these people trying to get me? But it's whatever.
Oh my word, Caroline, that's such a good point. There's a boatload of reasons to appear nervous and not as smooth as the people we are used to seeing playing scripted roles with the description sus neighbor. In the real world, in my view, right? We're so used to seeing scripted, mainstream media stuff, scripted, I don't know, movies, series, everything that when we see real human beings talking, we like red flag. And sometimes we might be right. 99% of the time, we're probably going to be wrong. Love how Detective Ken Maines put it. He's just like, oh, you follow your gut feel. Yeah, don't do that. If you want to be a detective or think like a detective, don't do that. Look at the facts. Follow the evidence. I was like, damn, I need to write that down immediately.
Shut the door back to halfway. Like, oops, went to the next house. It's like, oh, cool, this is the right one.
Yeah.
I'm a stick juggler. I kind of in my own world most of the time. But yeah, no. I don't. I'm super hermit. I kind of like. I live like one of the most introverted lives you can imagine. I don't know. I'm probably around like 2:30 to 4 a.m.
Okay.
I don't really look at the time after I get at home, so it's all just like an estimate. But that's probably the range based off of the activities that I was doing.
Yeah.
And it had out of state plates. That's one of the things I noticed about it. I think this one didn't have out of state. The Ford Explorer, whatever. I don't think that had out of state plates. I could be wrong, but this one definitely had. It was like, I almost want to say it was Utah, honestly, but it was like barrenish. It was nice. It was hard to see, but it was like barren plates, like deserty. It's like Arizona or Utah, Colorado, Montana. It's like mountainy, maybe. I think it might have been mountainy, but yeah. So I only saw 2 cars that had out of state plates.
Why would an introvert move to a party town? Go ahead. Sorry.
This is the only place I could afford with vaulted ceilings, so I could juggle at home. I need like at least like 10, 11, 12, 13 foot clearance. So it's hard to find. The apartments like that are hard to find anywhere. So like the ones with vaulted ceilings are usually like luxury places. So you have to pay like a premium for them. So This was cool. I was living in Pullman, so I was like paying a lot. And I had because of my felonies, I couldn't really move anywhere for 7 years. So after 7 years, I instantly moved into the first place available with vaulted ceilings.
Okay.
No, I never met the dog. I didn't know there was a dog until pretty recently, actually. Someone asked me why they...
And that's interesting. So if you see the Crime Circus, that's a channel, right? If you see the Crime Circus video on Jack number 1, and where he potentially, allegedly lives, and that the dog was mostly there because Jeremy, the other neighbor, mostly saw him at the end of the street, Murphy, the dog. Interesting. I wonder why Kaylee had the dog that night. That is still interesting to me, because mostly this neighbor, Inan, and Jeremy did not see the dog at the house. They don't know Murphy to be at the house. And Jeremy was saying he's at a house just down the road. And damn, today, the Crime Circus bring the receipts? Hell yeah, to show pictures and from the roof and from the this and from the that to see that, oh, okay, that's probably where Jack D lives. So, and Murphy probably was there most of the time too. Yes, we will look at his, what are his criminal felonies? All drug related, and again, like Bob Marley, I live in the Netherlands where all that stuff is very, very legal. So I don't know. It's just like so weird to me how people get arrested for having that.
why the
Strange.
dog was spared, and that's the first time I heard about the dog.
Okay, so those are all the clips. So again, the description box says the 2 channel links in there. It's Hidden True Crime and Unresolved Crime. So you can check out the full interviews there. Those were just little snippets. I do now thank you to somebody sent me. Hold on, I've opened 2 emails here. Thank you to Kelly for sending me Kaylee's mom's latest interview. We'll look at that after reading the huge novel that I'm about to read, right? Crime Circus. Did this guy witness? Thank you for the super sticker, by the way. Did this guy witness the Secret Service Fed hit team in the black SUV? He may have. That's what I'm also wondering when I'm like, oh, like luxury SUV, like could have been that. Could have been that. Could also be a blur of which day and time and everything, right? Especially remembering things like a month later, like, wait a minute, let me think back. Could be. So, yes. Alicia says it reminds me of other homeschooled kids I know back before homeschooling was so popular. Yes. Tara's like, Bob Marley. Yes. Okay. What is, oh, that's a candle. I was like, oh, beholder, why do we share it? It's a candle. Sorry. I was first like, what is that emoji? Okay. So so just stick around. If you don't want to hear the novel, then come back in about 15 minutes. Stay here if you can, but otherwise come back in 15 minutes. Then I'll show you Kaylee's mom's latest interview, this link that I just got sent. But I thought, why don't we just read through the novel here from Inan? And I won't pause. I'll try to just read it, okay? So take a deep breath, everybody. And then we'll look at this. And we'll look at one other piece of news here. I can't see that somebody died. I can just see about the standoff happening and a suspect being down in Pullman, Washington. So I have no idea what that is about, but I see people sending it to me. So I'll monitor that. But for now, let's just look at this right here. Okay. Inan Harsh, AMA, ask me anything. If you didn't know, AMA, people asked him a lot of questions, right? Okay. So, interesting. So they say, zooming in for you. Hello, my name is Inan Harsh, or Chef Dizzy. It's been a wild few days, and it seems there's a lot of news, misinformation, conspiracies, and a lot going on about my existence right now. I'm sure many of you are curious about who I am and how I got here. I haven't had a very average life, and I'm sure to a lot of people my beliefs, lifestyle, and actions that many will judge and consider immoral. But the truth is, I have a dream, a story, and a perspective I'd like to share for whoever it may touch and help. I believe in 5 things: peace, harmony, freedom, love, and happiness. I truly believe this is something human existence can reach, but unfortunately, greed and corruption has pulled us far away from that dream. And the consequences of such has impacting individuals across the globe daily. But first, I'd like to send out love and empathy for the family of the victim. See, I appreciate that. He's a true crimer, I'm telling you. Unheard of in this town, and absolutely horrendous. I can't say I have ever lost a family member, but in many parts of my life, I had to grow or survive in harsh environments, and I've lost several close friends, and some I consider family. I'll do this with a cursor so you can see where I am. Many others are missing or probably never to be seen again. At many points in my life, I was on my way to be one of them. Meditating on the murders and the suffering brings me to tears sometimes daily. One day, returning from work, I brought my neighbors some wine when they were having a small fire or party outside just to meet them. Although it was a short visit, I remember how beautiful, friendly, kind, and joyful they were. So happy it instantly brightened up my day. I remember going inside and having an inspired, long, and sick flow before stretching and drilling. Kaylee were the neighbors you wanted on Greek Row. Partying is expected. To imagine someone wanting to hurt them is beyond disbelief and so sick. So he explained in those interviews why he says Kaylee here, that she was the first one whose hand he shook, and she was very, very friendly. Several days ago, when I thought I was over the sadness of losing those who only brought positive thoughts to me, when I went to check my mail, I saw the posting of their faces and started crying. I was listening to Fallen Soldiers by Cormega, Wu-Tang represent, and starting thing not only of the recent murders, but all the friends I lost, and continued crying for hours. I went to work 3 hours later, tears still pouring from my face, trying to stay calm for my work duties. I could barely talk, and our grill cook could tell something was up, but I didn't know how to verbalize the feeling of losing a friend almost every other year. A feeling where you can't focus on anything but the suffering of losing a loved one. The energy burning in you like a fire, causing cuts. I'm mainly a prep cook. to be lightning speed, but sloppy. I remember almost cutting myself using the anger, sadness, and other emotions to propel my movements. Remembering the kindness of those now gone, and in this case, who had such a bright light, happy, and free future. Kaylee, Xana, and her boyfriend, those are the only 3 I remember, but I know all are amazing. We're real ass human beings. To lose them is such an incredible loss. I hope the family members find comfort in grief and heal fully with time. Positive prayers and thoughts, and encourage them to try and spend their time on whatever activity brings them joy and or comfort, and from my hippie roots to try and spend time with nature as it heals all wounds. While I don't normally support police, I understand them and do think there are some really well-intentioned and good ones in the force, as I have met a few. And in this case, I do support the homicide department and hope the perpetrator is found and justice is served. I mean, I've said that's exactly that, right? Okay. And yes, Lucky Lady says, I think he wants attention, lots of attention. So even if he wants attention, even if he lies, even if this sounds dramatic, he could have been triggered by the events, number 1. 2, so just remember that. Keep mental health in mind is what I mean. Okay. While I believe in freedom, there is a line you do not cross. And once you cross that line, it's time to move on to the next physical existence. I hope the family members and close relatives can find peace no matter what the outcome becomes. I've faced many near-death experiences. I've lived a reckless life, especially in my youth. I've done pretty much WE, I want my entire life. At the same time, I've always believed in compassion, morality, ahimsa, and being the best version of yourself. I have had a lot of struggles with insecurities, incredibly naive and optimistic, and extremely different and lots of times misunderstood. Thank you so much, Tharia. I'll check when I can. There's about, I have about 200 unread emails right now, but I will check. I hope it's on top. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm just checking now. What are you guys saying? Yes. Marie says, I wish the angry internet mob would stop targeting every person who gives any information. I can't believe anyone's still crazy enough to speak to anyone but law enforcement. Right? That would be the thing. Don't talk to anyone. Do not go on YouTube. Yes, it seems to be, unfortunately, the case, right? Okay, so where the hell was I? At the same time, I've always believed in compassion. Okay, we went there. And oftentimes misunderstood. It's like my middle name, misunderstood. Me too. I mean, sometimes when I think about those I lost, I ask myself, why not me? But I know that's stupid. And while I'm not really religious, I do believe in purpose and destiny. It's like survivor's guilt, right? Being here, free and alive today, despite many odds, I truly believe I have something to offer to this world. And looking at what's happening globally, and it brings me to tears to see how much suffering sentient beings are chronically experiencing. I have a story to share, and I think it's one that can touch people in meaningful ways and raise awareness of a lot of the problems in this world that many people do not see. Hopefully, this will reach out those who can use or those just curious and make positive, meaningful changes in the world. Thank you. Woman of Sacred. I was wondering what Sick Flow was. Thank you. He's a flow artist juggling and spinning fire. Sick Flow. He reminds me of literally everyone I spin fire with. So, okay. He's 30 years old. By everything I've got, he's 30 years old. But yes, for everyone saying he is completely sus, he's got criminal records. He does have criminal records. He's going to talk about it here. Do we not give anyone credit for turning their life around? You know, if someone was a drug addict, if they have criminal records, if they spend time in prison, does that equal killer? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just like, wow. Anyway, okay, so carrying on. But before we go further, I'd like to share a meditation I personally have found very powerful in my healing process. I couldn't find the book it's from, but it's from Tibetan Heart Yoga. It's a book my mother gave me that I took for granted and let slip my gaze for almost a decade. Growing up homeschooled up to high school, I had a very different youth than most people in this country. I was very close to my mother, but grew distant over the years. My mother faced a lot of suffering and death in her life as well. Her mother died in her early 20s and had a deep respect for all life, which is sacred, nature, and compassion, which eventually was inherited in my life. Yeah. Let me just see this. If he's been traumatized, anything remotely close to his trauma will get the ball rolling. Exactly, Elgo. I agree with you. We're gonna go over this whole story, right? Yeah, he typed all of this exactly. That's it. That's my thing. People have to stop attacking people just because we see a red flag. We are allowed to discuss red flags. Yes, we can see a red flag. We could say, that's a little weird. That seems like a lie. That seems a little sus. But it must never have an equal sign killer. Right? Damn. Got to pull the reins on those red flags. Oh, my word. Pink flags, pink flags. We might have to actually call it a different color, actually, at this point. We have to make our own color flag. Oh, my word. Okay. So, growing up homeschooled, right? She always had a high focus on meditation, yoga, healthy local cooking, and being at peace. It was the respect and desire to be in harmony with all living things in nature and following her ideals, no matter the social status and monetary consequences, that saved my life over and over. With that said, there are two parts. Part 2 is only to be done after a successful one. It used to be easy for me, but I've not been as consistent with my practice, and rarely do I ever make it part 2 these days. Now, what I'm going to do is skip this because it's instructional on meditation. So that's what he's talking about here. I'm more interested in his story and everything. If you want to read the meditation practice he's recommended, I'm going to link this. This will be linked in the timestamp afterward, okay? 12 years ago, I was charged with second degree or second robbery with a stolen firearm, felony possession of mushrooms, MDMA, meth, and opiates, I think. All charges were dropped, rightfully so, and I went to prison for possession with intent to deliver the MDMA. I'd like to share what happened and how I got there. Growing up, I was a very gifted student that was able to excel with putting minimal time into activities. I found myself with a lot of free time. As a teen, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, nor did I have any concrete sense of purpose or destiny. I was a bit of an outcast socially, but also very mature, but also very childlike in my youth, and I ended up hanging with much older people. I was dating a 21-year-old at the age of 16. Getting weed was hard back then. I remember it always taking a long time. Quality, half the time, was ass, and your bags were pinched or stolen sometimes. I ended up knowing some people, so started hooking my friends up. After a while, I was tired of all of the bullshit of second-man shit, and I felt like I could do it better. I partly did it to support my own weed habit. I partly did it because I was tired of seeing my friends and I ripped off all the time. I'm a believer in freedom and Einstein. And in particular, I believe the government should not play the role of a mother. People have to learn how to make their own decisions, and I believe all drugs should be legal so there is a safer and fairer space when it comes to substance. This would not only create purer, safer drugs, it would also make them cheaper, and people addicted to such substances wouldn't feel so alienated and would be more inclined to seek the help they need. The way alcohol is not treated as a drug socially, but substances like MDMA, that while mostly party drugs also have clinical users, are treated like the devil. Right? Okay, I said I won't pause, but I do want to I want to pause. Hey, thank you so much. Hugh Brains gives them my new favorite crime lady. So smart. Yeah, orange flag, but sus, but not quite there yet. I love it, Tracy. Orange flag, yes. Exactly. Yellow flag. You guys are so funny. Okay. Proceed with caution. I think, yeah, we're going to stop red flagging and rather yellow or orange flag this. We'll have all three yellow flags. We must have all three of them. Freaking robot, you know. Literally, I say robot. That's South African language right there for a traffic light. Yes, we call them robots. Can you believe it? Okay, so we're going to have yellow flags, orange flags, and red flags. So for me, this would be yellow flag time. And again, without making, I mean, you guys are going to be like, oh my word, this woman's so weird. I'm already weird. I know I'm weird. I've always been weird. Okay. The thing is, like, he just sounds so much like me. I'm like, this guy, like, damn, you know? Everything he's saying is just like, oh my word. And yes, dude, I think you should come to the Netherlands. You'll feel very welcome here. I don't take drugs, by the way, guys. I've never taken drugs, but I just know that's their like principle here. And yeah, you don't see. I understand what he's saying. Some opiate fiend came in to buy some shit, saw a couple of rolls, 100 ecstasy pills, a quap of weed, picked it up and ran out the door. My friends told me this dude took a bunch of pills, but they know where he lives from a mutual friend. At the time, a couple people in our group started smoking meth and ended up getting some crazy tweaker shit from them. One of them a gun. I wanted no part in it, so I did my best to stay out of that field. I had morals and rules, and meth definitely went past what I could believe in and was comfortable with. Yet I also stayed out of what wasn't my business. Anyways, since they woke me up from a nap, I felt they and I should do something about too. I happen to know someone there who I smoked oxy with a few times back in the day, and so I knew this person. I walked up to the back door and pretended I was fending for opiates. The dude said he could get some, but it was 120. I would never pay 80K. Oh, sorry, not 80K, 80 back then. But I was like, sure. So he led inside and we waited. I saw the rolls I had picked up on the rest side that weekend on the table and the crop of weed. I didn't know he stole the weed or I would have picked it up too. I picked up the rolls and ran for the back door. He followed and tried to stop me. So with the rolls clutched in my hand, I started bashing on his head with my fist until he let go. His friend was right there. I remember looking at him, expecting him to try and help him, but I think he knew what I was up to. So he put his hands out and I was like, I'm good. I ain't beef with you, bro. So I opened the back door and left. This piece of shit followed and jumped on me from behind, and I called for backup. Okay, are we following? All right. We're talking about the neighbor. The neighbor, you guys. Heidi says, that's probably why they call him Dizzy, because of the drugs. Joshua says, how is this relevant? Why is it relevant? Because he's a neighbor of the victims in this case, in the Idaho case, and everybody's attacking him big time and saying he is the killer. So just clearing up some stuff and reading the story here. It is very long, though. It is very long. Let me get an executive decision on this quickly. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So, yes. Oh, my word. Coogie says, a lot of people that smoke weed every day laugh a lot and loudly. Think Seth Rogen. Think 50 Cent. I'm reading his book still. If you guys follow me on Patreon, you know I started that a while ago. I'm still reading it. The 50th Law. Damn. And he talks about all this stuff, all this experience. And I don't know. From South Africa, we're very tolerant. It's in our culture. Right? Okay. So what I'm going to do, I just want to quickly skim some of this. I'm going to read this little paragraph here. I'll skim some because it's very long, okay? In prison, I learned how to shoot up as well as how to be humble and grateful. It's quite sad that the people who struggle, usually from environmental, mental, and biological factors, who need the most help and mentorship are given the most neglect. Fact. Many had abusive, meth-addicted parents with no financial stability, and eventually, through suffering and neglect, they fall into the same footsteps and do unthinkable things. The fact most of our society still lives on the laws our government has been feeding us for decades about drugs, the systematically way lowest income bracket populations and minorities are demographically contained in ways that make it hard to get out of poverty, violence, and drug abuse in their communities is heartbreaking to me. I agree. What do you guys think of this, man? When I got out, I didn't really have any plans because I didn't think I would make it past the age of 20 to 24. I did drugs heavily, using it recreationally, but after prison, I didn't start developing more addictive personality traits and I became a bit more estranged. I started getting into speedballs, and at one point in my life, I was having an OD almost every other month. I remember one time taking 3 shots of whiskey and then a speedball on top, and then waking up butt naked with my friends, giving me CPR in the shower. Having friends like these was something I'm eternally grateful for, because in most similar environments, that isn't always likely to happen. Okay. So there's a whole bunch. He talks about a whole bunch. Look at this. Look at it. It will take this is an ebook, okay? This is like I could narrate an ebook right here. But if you want the whole story, check it out. Okay, I'm going to leave the link. Let me read this one thing. On the night of the murder, I'm sure there's some discrepancies. First, I got home a little late because I was talking to one of my coworkers after work. When I went home, it was pretty normal. I made some tea, did some drills. I think I played a game of what? IOL or something. I went to bed and heard nothing out of the ordinary. When the cop knocked on my door the next day, I asked if I heard anything. I was like, no, nothing unusual. I didn't know there was a murder, so small details like a faint scream in the distance, one of my neighbors getting home, closing the car door, closing their front door, etc. were not on my mind. I noticed I was quoted as heard a scream, but this is not true. I heard a scream, faint and party-like to my half-asleep eyes. To be clear, there's probably at least 5 screams every Saturday. Even on dead nights, you'll probably hear at least someone making loud sounds at some point. Small detail, but in this situation, I think screaming and a scream and very different and small details matter like this with all the internet sleuths and conspirators around. Some of you are wondering what stick juggling is. I'd love to share. I'm at a point in my practice where I'll start offering services. Okay, so he's talking about the juggling there. So that's what that is. All right. Okay. So I'm going to link. Yeah, it's very long. Allison's like, it's long. I think that if you watch my John Kelly episodes when he was on the show, I would think that this guy is a visual kind of guy. Like he's the way he describes everything. It honestly reminds me not only of myself, but of Mr. Grizzly as well. Because if I ask him one question, Mr. Grizzly, sometimes I will get like literally like that, like a monologue of the whole thing. Because they start from the top and explain the whole thing with their whole visualizing everything. So I don't know. There's that. So, okay. What's the point? Just chill. It's a yellow flag. It's a yellow flag. I'm not like red flag killer, right? There's some things that maybe need some clearing up. Maybe he can be here on Grizzly True Crime. He's invited. Maybe he doesn't want to after all this internet scrutiny. Oh my word. I mean, Jeremy is like, I'm sure by now he's changed his number, which people will see as a red flag, right? They'll be like, red flag, he changed his number. I know he deleted his Reddit profile and you're just like, I'm not doing any more interviews, I'm done. And yeah, man, sometimes don't you feel sorry sometimes for even families, as we see in this case, families going on YouTube, going online and thinking, well, I'm just trying to share my family's message, and they get bullied, harassed, they get called killers. In every case we see this, it's terrible, it's really bad. So we just got to chill. Okay. Yes, you feel protective, Lorraine. I think, yeah, if we've been, I don't know. I feel like if you're tolerant, if you've been through trauma, if you just, I don't know. I feel a bit protective here. I'm just like, chill, everyone. Okay. So what we're going to do now is look at this right here. Before I do that, let me quickly, where's that one that Caroline sent me? Thank you, Caroline. Let's quickly look at this. It's his background check. And they say Inan Harsh, 30 years old, born in 1992 in Pullman, Washington. And what else have we got here? Records, criminal records. Whitman County District Court. Something with traffic. Speeding. Ooh, speeding. Speeding. It's a red flag. Okay. Criminal trespass, 2nd degree. So there's that. That could be an orange flag. Ooh, trespassing. Trespass building. Okay, not guilty. Possession of MJ. Okay, thank you, Caroline, for sending that. I see it. Okay. Are we all good? Amy said, the longer this is unsolved, I'm leaning more toward random serial killer psycho. Right? It's probably going to be someone we've never heard of. Which guy was this that I just read about? For anyone joining now, it is literally this neighbor right here. This one.
That I take everything the media says with a grain of salt.
For obvious reasons, I'm gonna ask you: are you the killer?
No. I went to bed and like I was, it takes me about an hour to fall asleep, and I, like thinking back, I thought like, I heard like a little scream from like that vicinity, but it wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't.
Okay. So, Angela, we need to bring Dizzy to the Grizzly community, right? Dizzy, you like true crime, don't you? Are you a Grizzly? Alex is like, red flag, more like red light, lol. Love me some Grizzly. Thank you all for being here. Yes, he had a plant. He's a killer. Shaking my head. Some of these comments are so telling. That's the problem, man. And I'm learning. In my opinion, okay, you can disagree with this. That's the whole point. Some people, oh, I love that troll comment. Thank you for reminding us of our rights. When I say you can disagree, I'm just saying we can all disagree. We're adults over here. We can have a conversation. But I'm learning from the best, in my opinion. I'm literally talking behind the scenes to professionals. Okay, like many of them that I ask them for their advice. What do you think of this? And what do you think of that? I run it by them. What about this? What is this a red flag? What do you think of that? Some of the red flags we totally agree on. 100%, but they still would never. I mean, even yesterday, you saw John Kelly on the show talk about the Delphi case. Richard Allen's been arrested. Doug Carter's like, this is the guy. This is the day. And John Kelly would still be like, we don't know if he's bridge guy. I mean, innocent till proven guilty. So innocent till proven guilty in a court of law. And that's when someone's already in the cage. No one's in the cage in this case. There's no suspects named. There's only people who are not considered suspects. And still, people are doxing them, harassing them, and saying, we're going to kill you. Like literally death threats. Like, holy crap, people. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So I guess sometimes, if anyone's like kind of here and thinking like, what in the hell? Like, you don't even know what people are doing out there. Like the level this can get to online. It's really scary, Okay, so thank you, Cece. Yeah, not always easy, huh? Not always easy to just speak my mind just a little bit. Just be like, oh my word, you got. Okay, so let's see what the hell is going on here. Here we go. Okay. Is the sound on? There you go.
It's sleepless nights. It's feeling sick to your stomach. It's just being left in the dark.
Kaylee Goncalves' mother recounting the chaos on the day she found out her daughter and Kaylee's best friend Maddie were killed, along with Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin.
There's nothing you could do. Absolutely nothing. Just, we were running around for hours just not knowing what was going on, what happened. Because we found out by people calling us. And the sheriff showed up about 3 hours later.
When you saw the sheriff, did you know?
Yes. And I had said that. I said, it's not real until the sheriff pulls up.
Goncalves says she and her family support the police and the work investigators are doing, but they're critical of authorities for what they called poor communication with victims' families.
You found out about the white car from a press release.
Yes. Yes.
Did they send you the press release?
No.
This morning, new clues related to that white Hyundai. Fox News Digital reporting this new surveillance photo from a gas station showing what appears to be a white car driving at 3:45 a.m. on the night of the murders. Meantime, Goncalves also told me the county coroner called and told her 17-year-old daughter graphic details from the autopsy over the phone.
She asked, are you sure you want to know this? And my daughter, thinking that she did for whatever reason, said yes, and she proceeded to tell her.
And you haven't spoken to the coroner?
No.
The family says they met with authorities Monday to express their grievances. A Moscow police spokesperson declined to comment on allegations relating to communications with the family. NBC News reached out separately to the coroner, but received no comment. This morning, 8 days into the search for the white Hyundai Elantra, Goncalves says it's becoming harder to remain optimistic.
Are you confident the police are going to solve this crime?
I have to be.
The Goncalves family also says they're speaking out on behalf of Maddie's family as well. They say that family is too grief-stricken to talk. They say that Maddie was their only daughter and that Maddie and Kaylee were the best of friends.
Oh man, sure. That was hectic, everyone. Oh my word. Okay. So Melon Huss. This just makes me want to never talk to any neighbor just in case they're murdered. Oh man. Well, I think I agree with you there. We just keep to ourselves. Lone wolf stay in our lane, right? Oh man. You guys, okay, now you're talking about the coroner. Okay, so we've looked at that. So that would be the interview that they're talking about. I just want to quickly check if there's any new updates with the Moscow PD. Did they release anything? Nope, the last was on the 13th, which is now today is the 15th. I wonder if they're going to release anything today. I keep checking the YouTube channel. I keep checking that website that they've got, which I'll link as well if you haven't seen it. I just wanted to show you this, which I think is what Iked Mel was on News Nation for, talking about this. Well, I know it was. It's just time. There was a lot of time pressure there, right? The prominent YouTuber accused of faking evidence in the Idaho murder case. Popular YouTube personalities accused of faking evidence in the investigation into the quadruple homicide in Idaho. This week, YouTuber Joseph Morris reportedly posted a video in which he claimed that he had received new audio from the scene where 4 University of Idaho students were fatally stabbed. On November 13th, Kaylee, Madison, Ethan, and Xana were found fatally stabbed. However, the video has since disappeared from his YouTube channel, and on Monday, another YouTuber, Iked Mel, posted a video accusing him of fabricating the audio he shared, with receipts, of course. Okay, so we did see that as well. Hey, thank you so much, Kariala, new patron and channel member. Thanks for your dedication, G. Thank you so much. So yeah, sometimes we've got the bullet points, we've got the presentation time, we've got the map time, we've got all the facts from law enforcement, and other times we just need to address things that are going on in the case as well, like this, So yeah, I don't think the channel seems to have been taken down. If you haven't seen Inan Harsh's video where he I showed it on my channel the other day, what they had found, him and his whole Discord group, and how they found the actual audio, where that audio came from. Go and check it out as well. Not only was the audio taken from somewhere else and put out as the neighbor released this audio, this article that he has here is fabricated. He edited the HTML, typed up what he wanted to say, and then played the audio behind it. Inan Harsh said in the video, which featured portions of Morris's original video. The original audio was from a YouTube video that appeared to show a woman in a domestic dispute with a man. Inan Harsh added, on Twitter, he shared a video of the YouTuber saying that her audio was taken by Morris. Jewel Rancid Live speaks on Joseph Morris using her audio. Snippet from her channel. Inan Harsh wrote in the tweet. Yes. Okay. And she said, this is absolutely disgusting. Well, Jennifer Coffenduffer said, this is the video that I referred to in despicable tweet. Thank you. If he were charged, it might deter those obstructing and hindering for their personal entertainment to rethink. And we've seen that. It would be nice to get credibility restored. This is absolutely disgusting. Joseph Morris is confronted in a group call about his fake vids about the Idaho case and other past murder cases. I did it because I love it. Joseph Morris. Wow. Okay, so that's what happened there, just in case you missed that little update. Yes, Janet, the audio was from a domestic abuse, which I think is disrespectful to that victim and the victims in this case as well. Yes. Caroline says, I hereby predict the fabricator will lay low for a while and rise from the ashes of his old channel like a phoenix. I predict the same, right? I predict the same. Oh, his channel's back up. Ready? Okay. Early hours of the morning for me. And this morning, it was down. Yes, Miss Sweet says, let's write out the facts. List suspects and possible motives, pros and cons of who and why people would do this, just the facts, and list odd statements and behavior. Okay, we've done that. Motive, we've looked at motive, the type of profiles that this killer could have. We've had guests on the show and everything. So that's what we do. Yeah. Today, we're just looking at a few things, right? I really appreciate you all being here. I don't think there's any other news right now. I'm just quickly going to check my email. I'm quickly going to check Twitter to make sure, so that otherwise sometimes as soon as I end the live, then something happens. I'm like, oh man, we should have just stayed here and chatted about it. So let me just quickly see. The edited posts. Okay. You guys are funny. Thank you for all sending me the interview as well that we just played. Was Morris in Moscow on the night he said red flag? I don't think so, but I get what you're saying. That is a red flag or an orange flag. I don't think he was. I think he faked having audio from there, got it sent to him or something. Okay, so the last thing I want to quickly check is, of course, Twitter, which would be here. And we go to the latest of the Idaho homicides. If you're not on Twitter, find me there. So you can type in Idaho homicides or Idaho 4, go to latest, and you'll see it. Locations of traffic cameras in Moscow, Idaho on the top is what they're showing here from Sleuthy. Who was the killer or killers? Top 8 suspect breakdown. That's from JB Gunner. I've seen him in the chat here before, too. So I'll probably go check that out as well. Explaining all the details to a 17-year-old sister. What are we saying? Mother of Idaho murder victim says she learned of critical clue. We saw that. That was learning it from the press releases and stuff, right? Which we also see in cases. We do see that, Even think of the Daniel Robinson case. I mean, there's lots of things in that case that Mr. David Robinson has to beg for. Like, hello, can we have some updates? What's happening? Is the case open? Is it not open? What's going on? Bailey Jones on Twitter says, me. I'm not going to get wrapped up in the hysteria of this case. Also me. Checks for news updates 20 minutes later. Back down the rabbit hole. Okay, that just summed up everything. This case, oh my word. I don't know if you guys saw as well. I don't see much news happening here. You know that chapter? Mike from that chapter. I'm sure you all know him, right? Am I right? If you don't know, damn, okay. Mike from that chapter, he even covered it. He normally covers a case once it's like finished, right? All the facts are there, but he covered it. And if you read the comment section, oftentimes in the comments, he's like, this is one of those cases that's keeping me up at night. This is one of those cases that I just couldn't not talk about. I mean, even there, people are just accusing him of making a quick buck, but I mean, he's like literally bothered by it. And he's also across the pond, as we say, like me. You know, he's in Ireland, I think, like Neville's True Crime, huh? And he's like, this case is keeping me up at night. This is so hectic. And it is hectic. We haven't heard of a case like this in a long time. Where it's just like, damn, it sounds like a freaking horror movie. It's like a slasher movie, but like, oh my word, for real. You know? Yes, you love that chapter as well. Uh-huh. Yes, Mike is awesome. Yes, Angela Bloom says, after seeing Crime Circus's latest video on JD and Hoodie Guy, I wondered from the beginning, but then it's just reported as such that this is Jack Showalter. Jack, yes, Hoodie Guy. But I'm like, in the beginning, when I first saw the food truck video, I was like, isn't it the other Jack? Which Jack is it? It looks like Jack number 1. So I don't know. Go check out the Crime Circus video if you haven't yet. There was a premiere earlier today that I was there in. So you might see me there on the live chat replay. Yes, Mike should join the Grizzly chat. You could just sense, even when he was reporting on the case, he was like I could just feel a little bit more anxiety than usual. You know what I mean? You could just pick up some anxiety of like, oh, I know where you're at mentally, because this case has us all gripped mentally. That's why you're all here, right? That's why you're all here in the morning for you, whatever it is. It is an insane case. We don't know who did it. We all want to know who did it. Like literally, what kind of monster did this? What is this person going to look like? Who are they? It's going to be scary. And also probably very boring compared to everything that's been shared online. Oftentimes, the real answer is a very boring one compared to, I don't know, some drooling monster with a knife running through the street. And you know what I mean? Like, wow. Okay. Mavi says, I'm in 30 minutes into the live. I feel he's not suspect for me right now. I have bad sleep patterns, so I understand he's up late. He feels like a nice guy. I'm up late every night, you guys. That's why you think I don't sleep. RC says, Jack's still in Africa. We don't even know that he was ever in Africa. His cousin said he was never there. So, welcome, Coogie. I think welcome back. I think you were a member before, right? Christy says the killer's long gone by now. I mean, they are checking the borders between the US and Canada as well. So, I mean, yeah, could be in Canada. We don't know. Thank you so much, Allison. Did you send it to me on email? I'll check it quickly before I go. Where? Did you send it on Twitter or on email? Let's have a go. Yeah, let's have a go. I just said it just like Mike. Yes, indeed. Okay, let's quickly check. Thank you. Another clip. Another one. Let's go.
Into the college murder mystery in Idaho. Officials are reviewing newly discovered surveillance video of a car racing by shortly after the murders. Kanan Whitworth has the details.
This morning, a new clue in the Idaho murder mystery. Police now investigating this surveillance image showing a white car. It was taken from an ExxonMobil station's camera around 3:45 the morning 4 University of Idaho students were murdered. The station about a mile away from their home.
They need the community to help.
The parents of Kaylee Goncalves, who was killed in the attack, now urging other businesses to turn over whatever footage they have before it's too late.
There's a 24-hour mark on a lot of those little video cams. There's a 7-day, a 1 month, a 1 month.
We're hitting the month. If the key part of the evidence is outside that residence, then we're losing it. We have to get it now.
Fearing that evidence is disappearing, Kaylee Goncalves shares what she thinks happened in the early morning hours of November 13th.
I think this person went in very methodical. I think he really thought it out. I think he was quick. I think it was quiet, and he got in and he got out.
Leaving her daughter and 3 others stabbed to death and a community on edge. The campus now preparing to shut down for winter break. Idaho State Police letting us ride along in their ramped up 24-hour patrols.
Everybody is very aware of their surroundings right now.
They are, and really they should be. at this point, and there'll be a resolution to this investigation. But certainly in the meantime, everyone should be vigilant.
And he went on to say he is confident that justice will be served. In the meantime, Xana Kernodle's family is back out handing out flyers. They hope to leave 5,000 of them on doors around the university and also.
Damn, Xana's family handing out flyers. We did mention that at the beginning of the case, but they are still. So everyone's saying, where's Xana's family? They're there. They're handing out flyers. 5,000, they say flyers now. Oh my word, Banachimp, me too. I love Mike's life insurance dance. Me too. Mike from that chapter, if you guys don't know what we're talking about. Welcome, Brenda. And for everyone who asked, I saw a few questions going by there of like, where can you read more about Inan Harsh and the post he made in the background? As you know, after every single live stream, I go and do timestamps for you, especially for replay watchers, or if you, even if you're watching it now and you want to replay watch, the timestamps are there for you. If you're just like, what was that one thing again? And I try to put as many in as possible. So with links. So I will put the link in there as well to the Reddit post so you can go and read the whole post yourself. So yes. 5-1 says map time on the station. Are you talking about the gas station? We did that earlier. We did a map time earlier on the station. Yes. The life insurance dance. Yes. If you haven't seen it, Mike from that chapter does it. Yes. Let's see. Iron Dog says frat boy theory still hanging out there. Nothing but science from Greek life, right? That one is interesting to me. Could it be? We just don't know. So yes. Jay and Brink says flyers. At this point, everyone in the area knows about this. Well, you never know. Not everyone, believe it or not, actually, not everyone, follows true crime. And oftentimes you might see people in Moscow who don't know about this. That sounds impossible to us, but there's going to be those people, Thank you so much, Stefan. You like the timestamps? Yeah. That's hard work, but I think it's worth it, especially for replay watchers. So that it's not like, oh no, here's a 2-hour live stream. Where do I go? Just go to the timestamp and pick what you want to listen to. There you go. Well, I hope that today's episode, was informative in some way, that it helped, that we could just pull the reins on those red flags and let's call them orange flags, shall we? If you see yellow or orange flags on any neighbor like Inan coming forward, any discrepancies in what they're saying, anyone else coming forward, I mean, wow, people must be so scared to come forward at this point. So, we just got to chill a little bit. We can think about it. And sometimes we go just a little deeper on sharing opinions and things and snarking it up and not censoring things on members only and patron only live streams. So if you want to be part of that, we will have another PJ party type thing soon, which is when I put on my snarky robe and we look at things from a different angle, right? So yes, I hope that you will join me for that. And we still want to go over Chandler Holderson's jail call soon for the members and patrons only stream. I know that's still pending as well. There's just so much happening in this case. Oh my gosh. Kellen says today's episode was very grisly. Right? Thank you, Constance. You get to pause, G. It's her channel. Thank you so much. All right. So I hope that you had a good time here with me in discussing some of these details. Today was a little more of the peripheral details. And as soon as there's any more facts, like from the Moscow PD, as soon as they make another press release, if there's anything else, I will update you. If you missed the press conference yesterday in the Quentin Simon case, which was very, very sad, we looked at the press conference and we read the indictment as well in full. Please check out that episode as well. And yesterday, John Kelly, criminal profiler, joined the show and we talked about the Delphi case. Yes, it was 2 hours, but I would highly recommend watching it. I rewatched it because I'm like, what did I miss? Because I'm like in it and a bit anxious and all that. But I'm like, what did I miss? So I watched it again. Man, some of the things he shares, I love it. I love it. I'm a fan. Okay. So yes, and you don't have to be, as I always say. But I really liked all the insight and just casually chatting about the Delphi case. So go and check this out. That's from yesterday on my live stream tab. Okay. So what? I'm just looking here. Yes, Kathleen's reminding you, please subscribe to the channel. There's 40% of new viewers who are just lurking. And we love lurkers, but just make sure you subscribe, okay? It's free. And if you subscribe and hit the bell, at least you'll know when I'm next going live and you can lurk again, okay? So that's all it takes. Just subscribe, hit the bell, and then you can be here with us and lurk away. We love lurkers. Haters. We love all the Grizzlies, new and old. We've got original Grizzlies in the house as well. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful December. It's getting much colder and colder now in the Northern Hemisphere, huh? I'm going on icy forest walks, and I'll share that on Patreon if you are interested. I actually filmed one yesterday for you guys on Patreon, but then I decided I was waffling way too much and I didn't upload it. So I might film another one later. Some things don't make it on there because I'm like, damn, I waffle a lot. So big waffles happen on Patreon. But I hope you're staying warm. I hope you're having a wonderful December season. Thank you for choosing to spend your time here with me. I'm so grateful. And I love seeing all of you. Yes, Tracy, lurk and subscribe. Subscribe, keep lurking. Lurking while you're working. And then re-lurk, for the replay. Okay, everyone. So thank you so much. Thank you, mods. Really appreciate it. And I will see you with any other updates in all these cases I'm covering. I've got new documents and lots of things and so many emails to work through. And most of you are freaking smart. Oh, my word. Thank you for all the things you find that you email. I love it so much. So thank you. And I will see you in the next one, which might be later. It might be tomorrow. We'll see. So make sure you subscribe so you know when. Okay, bye, everyone.